Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cheap Seats podcast. We are just days away from the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, one of my favourite pay-per-views of the year. As always, I'm joined by the co-owner, the co-chief of the Cheap Seats, Orca Shield. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, thank you very much for having me. And I just want to show off this amazing chair that you could win yourself this weekend for the
Yeah.
low cost of trying to be better than me, the king of predictions.
Speaking of predictions, we have just completed that video, so it will be up on YouTube. And check it out. Check it out. See what you think. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? Is there something we've missed that you think may actually go a completely different way, a different winner perhaps, in any of the matches that we have predicted? That will be on YouTube. Go check it out. So we, as always, we always cover the most recent Raw and SmackDown that we have available to us. It's been a very busy week for me. Real life, just basically kicking me in the fucking nuts. So I haven't really caught up with what happened on Raw or SmackDown, aside from the highlights that I would see via social media. So Orca has watched Raw and SmackDown, so he has a better understanding, a better grasp of what is going on in the world of WWE and the WWE universe. So we will. I'll hand over to him to lead us through most of the podcast. We will do obviously our thoughts on the upcoming pay-per-view and reasons why we think things are going to go the way they are. So go ahead, Orko. Lead us.
Yeah, I just want to add to you saying that I seen it. We're in the UK, so I was blessed to see all of this glorious SmackDown. And if you yourself find yourself in the US, I'm sorry that you watched the black screen for most of this because, people can't wait for it to go to Netflix because there was a kid flipping off Nia Jax and the screen just went to black for most of a qualifying match.
No way.
Yep. There was a kid in the front row just flipping off Nia Jax. So the women's triple threat was just a black screen for most of America.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Because Fox were clamping down on what they censor and stuff, so there was just signs being put, and rather than just putting a blurred area over the sign or whatever, they just put a black screen. So the screen just kept cutting out. So yeah, if you're in America, consider moving to the UK. It's a good way to watch it until it goes to the Netflix, or get a VPN. One of them's cheaper than the other. Anyway, we kick off the show with
it's the VPN. It's the VPN. Here's the secret. It's the VPN.
We kicked off with a brawl, not a promo. We just got straight into a massive brawl between the babyface team of Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton, who were just dismantling the new bloodline. And when I say dismantling the new bloodline, it was 3 of the 4 members of the bloodline. They started off a little bit of a brawl, which went from backstage all the way down the ramp, just kicking off the show, and Cody was just battering everyone while wearing what I can only probably imagine is a ridiculously expensive suit. That it just goes to show how rich these bastards are when he can go down in probably a cashmere suit, not caring if it gets ripped, anything. I'm just going to beat him up because I can go buy another one. This is going in the bin afterwards. Eventually, we get the brawl spreading all over, so staff members from the back come out, and I say staff members that look suspiciously very hench and buff to be just random men and women from Gorilla.
It's always like
enhancement talent. Just
performance center talent. Yeah. It always is.
They basically get an ass kicking from the face team, which is weird because normally the face team would be the one that's okay. And they, to be fair, they did. Cody Rhodes at first was like, okay, yep, we'll leave, whatever, and then just snapped and just started beating the crap out of all the staff.
Yeah,
and he was like, "We're not leaving. We want a brawl."
Yeah, no, it's good that the faces have this side of them. I think this more sort of ruthless side. It's good to see. It is good to see.
So then, as they're all flat out Nick Aldis goes backstage and then comes back with the NYPD because it's in Madison Square Garden.
That's right.
The grandest stage of them all, and so he comes out. He comes out with the NYPD, and the face is like, "Oh, piss! We can't really punch them." So they eventually break it up, but it was a strong opening segment. It got the crowd hot straight away because, like I say, there was no like welcome to SmackDown. There was no promo, no music, no nothing. It was just brawl, straight in, fight, bang, get it going.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know what was happening in the arena, but from terms of what we can see on telly and network and whatever, it just looked like, okay, they've literally gone straight in with just a fight here to absolutely kick off what was a great show. Both, I think, ever since, probably since the Backlash, really, or definitely since Clash at the Castle. Like, it's just been banger after banger. These weekly shows deserve to be their own PLEs most of the time. It's like stuff that
I think there's going to be a dry season. Yeah, he's doing really well, but I think there's going to be a dry season where
he can't keep this up because this has literally gone from like 0 to 100 in a show.
Very little time. Yeah.
But then so that's it. It was a way to obviously get ready for the match at the weekend between the Bloodline and these faces.
Yes.
Without having a match because we still aren't sure if Cody's legit hurt or not. We said last week in the podcast we both believe it's just kayfabe. It's not. They're not going to let him go out with broken ribs. So, but this plays into that he wasn't fit enough to have an actual match at the start. It was just a let's get him on the show for the pop in front of the crowd. He's going to be there, but we can protect him a bit. Maybe let him rest up.
Yeah.
Maybe he is hurt. I reckon it could be bruised and it could be something like that. I don't think it's as bad as they're saying it is. But if he's picked up a knock, then this is the sensible way to make him rest before the match.
So what was next?
So up next was the women's qualifying match for Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill versus Candice LeRae. And it's been so long since my babe has been on telly. Tiffy time is back, and we are all for it here.
Yeah.
So it was a good match.
We do love a bit of Tiffy time.
These three women put on an absolute barnstormer. Like, obviously, we've said this in the past about some of the qualifying matches for this, where it's one person stands out a lot more than the others. And even though I'm a big Tiffany Stratton fan, like, if you told me Tiffany Stratton was going against Jade Cargill and Candice LeRae, if someone didn't say Jade Cargill was going to win this match, I'd probably laugh at them. Like, in terms of just, like, looking at athletic ability, Jade Cargill should be. But then, if you think about the ladder match that it's leading to, you want to keep Jade Cargill far away from that ladder match.
Yeah.
So, because she's not ready for that yet. She has been making some botches in normal matches, so I don't think putting her in a ladder match is a good idea.
Not yet.
The weird thing about this match and the weird thing about this friendship that's forming is the fact that Tiffany Stratton was brought to the ring by Nia Jax. This is when the kids started flipping off Nia Jax and it just went to a black screen for half this match.
Right.
Then Jade is obviously still accompanied by Bianca, and Candice LeRae had Indy Hartwell. So the thing that makes no sense is that the end of this match comes when they go outside the ring. Jade's outside the ring, and Nia Jax is going to looks like she's about to absolutely flatten Jade because it's a triple threat match. There's no DQ. These women could get involved, but for some reason, even though two of them are heels, they just stayed on the outside. Like, let's go, girls. There's no, which to me, again, you know my opinion on that. I just don't understand why. Like, especially heels. Like, if it's a triple threat match, go in and help your partner out if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
There's no DQ. You can literally do whatever you want. But it comes when Jade's outside the ring and Nia's like staring at Jade like she's about to absolutely flatten her. And Bianca Belair runs around and stands behind Nia Jax. So Nia Jax then turns around to look at Bianca and has a stare down with her. Like, Nia Jax just isn't backing down, even though she's between Jade and Bianca. So Jade gets to her feet and realizes that what Nia was about to do. So she looks like is about to attack her from behind when all of a sudden Indy Hartwell just comes out and launches Jade into the ring post from behind her. To which Bianca then sees that and just sprints after Indy Hartwell. So Indy Hartwell goes running up the ramp, and they're bye-bye Indy and Bianca. They just run out of the arena, which then leaves Candice LeRae in the middle of the ring for Tiffy to hit the prettiest moonsault ever, which is not my opinion. Well, it is my opinion, but it's also just the name of the move. I'm not going that hard on it. And she picks up the win. So Tiffany Stratton advanced to the women's Money in the Bank qualifying match, and will soon be Miss Money in the Bank. Because it's Tiffany Stratton.
I think so.
The only thing that makes no sense to me in this is where this partnership's come from Tiffany and Nia Jax. I mean, they're both heels. They're both like, we're the best. So I can sort of see, in terms of kayfabe, I see that they both think the same, and then, okay, they'll be together in that sense. But at the same time, at SummerSlam, Nia Jax is going for Bayley's title. So if she takes the title from Bayley, then surely Tiffany Stratton's going to come for that belt. So why is she helping her get the briefcase? So
maybe. Maybe.
I don't know. That makes no sense to me. But in terms of the partnership, these two are brilliant together.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how much you've seen of that match. If you were watching in America, not a lot.
Yeah.
There's people watching this podcast now going, "Oh, that's what happened."
Yeah. I do feel sorry for people when that happens, but again, it's see, these are all the deals that Vince struck when the product was very watered down. It was very PG, and they would have just cut to a different camera angle. But whereas Triple H is kind of, we know that we can.
He doesn't want as many jump cuts and stuff like that.
No.
He wants to keep it as smooth as possible.
Yeah, and you can see that, and and it's fine, but yeah, the network will still demand cutaways from that. So, but it's fine. So I believe Santos Escobar versus Logan Paul versus LA Knight was next, right?
Yes. So this was kind of an angle because before the match we had two people that I've never heard of. Were in the stands. Let me see if I can find their names.
I've got them here. Ty Halliburton.
NBA stars, yeah. Jason Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton.
Halliburton. Yeah.
Halliburton, yeah. So they're both on rival teams in New York. I'm guessing they're on like the Subway Series derby or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't even know. I know the Subway Series is the New York Jets versus the Yankees in baseball. I don't know what it's called in the basketball.
Oh, okay.
It's like two teams in New York.
It's New York Knicks versus
Jets, isn't it?
No, the fucking Jets are American football.
I don't fucking watch basketball. It's shit. I'm just pissed off some people.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for getting rid of all of our American fan base.
I watch American football. I watch hockey. I watch baseball. Basketball to me is just no.
It's fine, but I don't follow it.
Every single time they get near each other, a whistle gets blown and it's a free throw because you can't touch each other at all.
No, I used to watch it in the 90s. But yeah.
So before the match, it showed them pair, and I don't know. Weirdly, again, and if people watch basketball, let us know in the comments. Like, is one team like more over near Madison Square Garden than the other? Because one person sided with Logan Paul, the other was with LA Knight. So I don't know if that team is like more hated in this area of New York. I honestly don't know. I like I said, I don't follow basketball to care. But
right.
It was basically kept showing them pair in the crowd. The match was okay. Then sorry. I've just had some breaking news. Yes.
The person who came out with Logan Paul, he plays for the Indiana Pacers. And the person who came out with LA Knight plays for the New York Knicks.
Okay, so the New York Knicks, that's why he was like the babyface side then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically, LA Knight wins the triple threat match. But then it's all about what happens after the match and between these two. So this match is basically a throwaway match. Weirdly, it was a qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. But it's so bizarre that like the story didn't need this because already LA Knight and Logan Paul are heading towards SummerSlam anyway. So then after the match, we basically had one of Logan's guys jump the barrier with this
As always.
Jalen fella. I'm guessing, was he the one that you said was with Logan?
No, the other one.
The other one. Okay, so Tyrese is with Logan. So he jumps the barrier for him and gives him the brass knuckles. He's like, I need you to hit LA Knight. So then LA Knight sort of does this weird thing, because I think the other guy, Jalen, misses his mark then to come in.
Oh, he missed his cue. Yeah.
He missed his cue because, like, you have LA Knight is stood in one corner and he's sort of sandwiched between Logan Paul and Therese, and then he walks through the middle, so then pair loop around again, and then LA Knight just walks again around the ring where they come back and they keep circling each other off and attacking each other. And by that point, I think the other guys realised, oh shit, I've missed my cue here. And he grabs a chair from the outside, hurts his finger closing the chair.
Oh no!
And then slides the chair into the ring rather than just climbing in with the chair, and slides it too far, so it lands at the feet of Logan Paul. So LA Knight has to sort of improvise and grab the chair, and then hands it back to the guy that got in the ring.
Oh, for
fuck's So the two NBA guys stare each other down, one with a chair, one with the brass knuckles, while Logan Paul and LA Knight just start chatting shit at each other. It's horrendous. This is like one of the worst segments in what has been fantastic shows. It was literally just a cheap pop for these basketball players. That's all this segment was. But yeah, if you get a chance, just watch the chair slide, because it goes flying across the ring, and LA Knight has to sort of like grab it quickly because it's landed right at the feet of the two heels.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, LA Knight goes on into the Money in the Bank qualifying match.
Yeah.
Does he need to be there? No. As much as I like LA Knight, I think they missed the trick last year, as you've said many times.
Yeah.
He should have won last year.
Yeah.
They didn't pull the plug while he was white hot. No. He's now back in it this year, but
yeah, they didn't. They didn't pull the trigger on that. Yeah, this is the problem. Putting LA Knight in the Money in the Bank match it means absolutely fucking nothing, because we know, just as wrestling fans, we know that he is going into SummerSlam against Logan Paul for the US title.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to dethrone Paul at that event.
Yes.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah. So we'll get to that we have
later.
We have the final women's qualifying match for Money in the Bank. It's Naomi versus Indy Hartwell versus Blair Davenport. Naomi picks up the win here. It was a good match. The two women involved in Indy Hartwell and Blair Davenport was they were good. You know, both of them are doing really well singles wise.
Right.
I feel sorry for Blair Davenport, because I don't think this crowd knew who she was from NXT. There was no real build to who Blair Davenport is.
They haven't done anything yet.
They did a video package with her, I think, but that's it. So when she came out, it was flat. There was no reaction to Blair whatsoever, which was, it wasn't the best of debuts for her. And like, I don't think this was the match to debut Blair Davenport.
Absolutely
in a
not.
match.
No, I think she was just there, and she's a good worker. So they were like, "Fuck it, we'll just put her in there." This is GM mode booking.
Yeah,
this is GM mode booking. Whenever we see something like this where it doesn't quite make sense.
Blair had 90 stamina.
Yeah, and she had said that she wanted to do something this week.
Yeah,
it's literally that. When we see things like this, we often will just say, "Yeah, this is GM mode booking," because it just doesn't make sense.
So the end of the match, which was very predictable when you see the people involved and what happened earlier in the show.
Well, Naomi goes, didn't she?
Blair Davenport takes and Indy Hartwell do the heel thing. They team up, work on Naomi. Eventually, Indy Hartwell turns on Davenport.
Yes.
Davenport gets chucked into the steps by Hartwell, but then from behind, she gets attacked by Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and also, for some reason, the women's tag team champions come down.
Yeah.
Just randomly in there as well.
Fire,
So they have a little bit of a brawl, which means that it's just Naomi in the ring with Davenport.
Yeah.
And Naomi just picks up the win, advancing to Money in the Bank. So Toronto can feel the glow in a week's time for her entrance only, and then she'll lose the match.
Okay. And then I
Then we
think
have
after that,
we have
yeah,
the ending segment.
which this is a fine example of not only method acting, character work,
Yep.
and just the kind of show that we are getting now under Triple H.
Yeah.
Like a full, you know, yeah. I know that I know that some of the former superstars help produce the show, like Hurricane Helms, Shane Helms. He's often backstage helping produce things, do this, do that.
Yeah, you got Bobby Roode. You've also got
Yeah,
Jason Jordan.
yeah, yeah. They've all moved on to like helping produce, and you can see the quality, the interest has skyrocketed. Now, this segment for me, when I did watch this segment, and I was just in awe. Like I am so hyped for what's coming.
Yeah. So this was meant to be the initiation of Jacob Fatu, and also them acknowledging Solo Sikoa as a new tribal chief.
Right.
So they initiate Jacob Fatu first. He then gets all of the new members, so Tangaloa, Tamatonga, and Jacob Fatu, to acknowledge Solo Sikoa as his tribal chief, which all three of them do. They all acknowledge him as their tribal chief. Um, Solo then issues over the wise man, Paul Heyman, who, as you say, has taken method acting to a whole new level because he hasn't shaved, so he's got like the stubble.
He didn't
He hasn't
sleep.
dyed his hair, so he's got grey hair coming
Yeah,
through.
he didn't
He hasn't
sleep.
slept, so his
Yeah,
eyes are red and puffy and
yeah,
everything.
and he's a bit. You can tell he's a
Yeah,
little bit agitated. Yeah.
yeah. So Solo comes over to him and he goes, "Wise man, acknowledge me," and he hands him the
After
red
he is
lei,
well,
whatever it is.
well. You've missed a couple of steps. If we are going to just describe what happened, he asks each of the new members of the bloodline to acknowledge him, and they do.
Yeah, I said that. I said they all acknowledged him.
Right.
I don't know if it cut out or not.
Okay.
But yes, they've all acknowledged, and then so Paul Heyman takes the red lei that used to be worn by one. I don't know if it's called a lei. There's probably a name for it when it's like
Right.
the beads rather than
Yeah.
flowers, which a
Yeah.
lei is. But you know what I mean, the necklace thing that he wears.
Yeah.
And he takes that, obviously the one that Roman once wore, and he's looking at it and holding it, and he even kisses it, which is beautiful little details like that that you don't normally see.
Mm.
Like that some people missed up on in the first thing, but he actually goes and kisses the
Yeah.
necklace, and he goes, "Solo, I acknowledge," and then takes a pause, which was probably only seconds, but the actual shot felt a lot longer, and then he just screams that you are not my tribal chief, and slams the microphone down.
And
Uh,
the necklace as well.
yeah, and Twitch got a pop, which was
Oh
absolutely
man,
disgusting. I feel like
that was a
people,
WrestleMania pop.
yeah, people. I think the security guards were handing out plastic bags for people to be sick, and it was that disgusting, that pop. It was unbelievable. Like, and it's not even like it's. Oh, yes, it's a face turn, but this is, like you say, it was a WrestleMania style pop or a return style pop or debut,
Yeah.
but for Paul Heyman. It's
Yeah.
what it was like, and he just. But obviously, Solo looks enraged. He spikes Paul Heyman,
Yeah.
and then Jacob Fatu does his diving headbutt. Is it, or is it a
Yeah.
splash? I can't remember what it is. Like headbutt.
I think it's
And then
a
they
he-
roll
yeah, it's a
Heyman out
headbutt.
of the ring and give him a triple powerbomb Shield style through the announce desk.
Yeah. Very
Um,
Shield-esque.
Yeah. And you've got to remember, Paul Heyman is what, 54? And he's taken these bumps. Is he older? 64?
I think he's older than that. Yeah, I think he's in his 60s at least. Definitely, yeah.
And he has taken bumps through an announce desk just to do part of the job. And the pop that Heyman got is going to be absolutely nothing in comparison to when Roman Reigns returns to stand up to Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
When he comes back to defend his wise man, and we get Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0, the pop is going to be absolutely insane.
I can't wait. The amount of time that when Roman Reigns' music hit, people were booing it and they were booing him, right? The moment that like Solo's like, berating Paul Heyman, and when there's something like, I don't know, the Usos are getting this shit pushed in, and you just hear the fucking choir start up again, and all the Titantron is just all electric, like thing going through it. The amount of ones that are going to be in the air is incredible. I can't wait. I can't wait for Face Reigns to come back. Can't wait.
The only thing I'll say before we move on to Raw, because this is the end of SmackDown, is now that you've got the 4 members of Solo, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, or you can just blur them into one person if you want, Tama Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu. Do you bring the Rock back in to be a 5th person? But then if you have the Rock back, how do you even the odds with the old bloodline? Because you've obviously got Jimmy and Jay and Roman.
Yeah.
But then
Sami Zayn.
You still need one more.
Yeah, there is. There's other Samoans out there. It wouldn't be Rock. It wouldn't be Rock.
Rock would go for the other one. That's what I mean. If Rock comes back, do you put him in with the old or the new bloodline? Sorry.
Oh, I don't know, because don't forget, Rock was meant to be the face in the Roman versus Rock story.
Yeah.
Rock was meant to be the good guy, and they had to switch that quickly. So Rock could join, rather than have Sammy. You could have Rock with Roman and the Usos, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So that was it for SmackDown. We'll move on to Monday Night Raw. We'll try and keep this podcast short, because you're probably in for a bumper episode next week.
Mm-hmm.
But we start off the show with backstage segment first, which was Jey Uso, and it's one of them hard camera sort of, we're following Jey Uso right the way around the place, and he's backstage in amongst the crowd, like coming into the arena, and he's getting everyone to chant "Yeet" backstage, and then he goes, his music hits, and he's like, right, it's time, and the camera just follows him, and he spins around, he comes out through the crowd, getting everyone going, doing his song. It's a great way to start Raw. And he gets in the ring, and as he's in the ring, there's also another camera backstage where Otis is carb loading, as we'll call it, because he's got 2 plates of food in front of him. Right. And Chad Gable's like, I need your help. I'm sorry. I need you back. The Wyatts are after me, and this, that, and the other. And Otis is like, I'm done, basically. And Maxine and Akira Tozawa come and like put their hand on Otis. And Chad almost like goes to bribe Otis again, because he's like, well, just so you know, if they ever come for you, I'll have your back. And that's when he leaves, because Otis has basically said he's not going to help him. And then Chad's like, well, if I tell him I'll help him, maybe. So then Chad then makes his way to the ring as well. So you've got Jey and Chad in the ring, and obviously he's supposed to be doing the chat about the Money in the Bank ladder match, which both of them are in at the weekend. But Jey sort of is smart, and again, this is like the new thing under Triple H, where the wrestlers aren't like oblivious to stuff that's going on around them if it's not in their storyline. So Jay's like, what are you doing out here? The Wyatt Sicks are literally looking for you. They want you. Why have you come out here in the open? Like, what are you gonna get? And he's like, Chad starts like talking to Jey, like being heel Chad, which is a good heel. And then one by one, the lights in the arena go out around the ring, and the fireflies light up, and Chad hits himself in the nicest way possible. Jey also sort of like gets out the ring quite quickly, and smoke starts filling from the corners of the ring and under the ring. Smoke starts bellowing out, and Chad rolls out of the ring, runs over the barrier into the crowd, and so the crowd are now looking around. Like, obviously, there's no Wyatt Sicks members just yet.
Yeah.
And the camera just follows Chad as he's fleeing up the crowd, and he's trying to get backstage still, but going up through the crowd from the hard cam side. And he gets to where he can get backstage from the left-hand side of the Tron, and there's a light, and in the light is, which one is it? It's the pig. It's Joe Gacy.
Right.
It's just stood there. He's not attacking Chad. He just stands there, so you can see the silhouette in a white light behind him.
Yeah.
And Chad just shits himself and starts walking towards the actual main ramp. And as he gets to the main ramp, there's a white light, and in the silhouette of Eric Rowan, the rabbit, is just stood there with his mallet. So he keeps walking and goes across again to the next. So he's trying to get around the stage of the right side, and there's another white light, and it's the buzzard of Dexter Loomis that's just stood there, that's like staring him down. So Chad then just runs up the ramp, basically up jumps the crowd barrier again, just runs up the crowd, trying to escape everyone. And then as the camera turns around, Nikki Cross is just stood outside the ring with another box, and Michael Cole's like, not this again. But there's one thing that makes no sense in all this, which is there's just two random crew members that have just been laid out across the announce table that you don't see why they're there. They're there at all. They haven't been attacked. The camera just pans and they're just dead.
And the fact that Michael Cole isn't like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, get help. You're like, get help. No, just nothing. Just like, oh, well, that's inconvenient. Like, just, like, that's how it feels. That's how it
Corey
feels.
Graves looks like scared because he's not seen this yet.
Well,
but he doesn't acknowledge the two dead people that are just sprawled across the announce desk. And Nikki Cross just hands this box over to Michael Cole and just leaves again. So we've got another videotape, which then the Wyatt Sicks segment ends again there, which is another like slow build, which again, they're stalking Chad Gable around the arena at this point. I don't know what you think of that. It's a good way to sort of introduce them slowly with the silhouettes. They look terrifying still.
Yeah.
But the only thing that made no sense to me was the fact that there was two enhancement talents just sprawled across the desk for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my drink went down. Ah.
That's alright. Don't die, please.
God, that hurt. Oh, right. Up next, I'm back. I'm alive. Up next, we have the first match, which was Xavier Woods against Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
That's not right. Should it be? Is it? Maybe it was.
Apparently so, yeah.
Yes, it was. Sorry, I remember now because I was more busy focused on what happened after the match. So Xavier Woods picks up the win in this match, but as soon as Xavier Woods wins, the Final Testament get involved and basically assault the New Day. So Xavier Woods gets dragged outside by the AOP. They flatten him outside, like start slamming him into the barricade, doing everything. Karrion Kross gets up and locks in this absolute agonizing looking submission, which I don't know if it's... don't get me wrong, any move from someone that can literally snap a baseball bat in half, if you look at his Twitter, is going to hurt you.
Oh, absolutely.
But Kofi's selling also makes this look horrendous. Like he is about to literally snap his arm in several places because he's like almost lifting Kofi up by just his arm, by the way Kofi's like flinging his legs. And he just locks this submission in, and Kofi is screaming bloody murder in the ring. And Karrion Kross doesn't let up, and the referee it's weird though, because the referee in this point, like obviously if you're a ref, there's not much you can do. If someone the size of Karrion Kross is laying waste to someone, are you going to go in the ring and go, I don't think you should touch him, good sir. Please unhand him. Because
exactly,
if you value life, you're not doing that.
No.
So the referee does just like sit back, like I can't do it. I'm not here. I'm not doing anything. You've got Scarlett and I always forget his name. The other guy.
Paul Ellering.
Outside. Who? Sorry.
Paul Ellering.
That's it. Paul Ellering. He's on the outside, basically screaming to snap his arm, and Scarlett just gets in and starts rubbing Karrion Kross's chest seductively. It almost looked like she was coming in to tell him to stop, but then she just starts rubbing his chest for reasons unknown to most people.
Right.
As he just carries on the submission hold. The AOP just continue to lay waste to Xavier Woods outside the ring. And then he eventually releases the hold, and Kofi Kingston just crumbles to the ground. The ref slides in the ring to make sure he's okay, and at the same time the camera angle sort of sees Xavier Woods crawl up and try and get in the ring to help Kofi and try and slide him out. But obviously as he's trying to get in the ring, it's a bit of a weird one because he sort of gets under the rope. He's looking up like he's trying to get to Kofi, but the AOP are just sort of staring down at him.
Yeah.
And it's sort of one of them where it's like, if he's under the rope at the AOP, should the AOP not have tried to force him back out of the ring so Kofi's just flat there? Or Are they just going to let him pull him out? That part made no sense to me, like that end part, 'cause it sort of broke off from the story of these two hate each other to, oh no, this is back to wrestling now. They don't care.
Yeah. It did.
Um,
It certainly felt that way. Yeah.
but I don't know, because we've been saying that, and I love Karrion Kross. It doesn't look like that when you check out our universe mode and see that he's being bullied every week by everyone under the sun. But I love Karrion Kross, and this is now finally looking like we're getting the old Karrion Kross under Triple H.
Yeah.
I think he's slowly bringing that round where he's just going to be this absolute unit, but he's still losing matches, which I feel like that needs to stop in order to make him look legitimately a weapon.
Yeah, he's going back to the Killer Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to. I know that the New Day are a good team, and it builds into this story of what's going on. But I feel like for now, you need to just have Karrion Kross win matches. It feels like
absolutely.
Every time he loses now, like even this was a loss, but then the aftermath he looks dominant. But that match still should have been a win, and then they still attack the New Day. For me,
yeah,
just to try and build him up, because at the minute people are still like, oh well, it's Karrion Kross. He's not good. We're used to him in a gimp mask and weird leather straps from Vince's idea.
I mean, thankfully that wasn't too long. It was probably month, maybe month and a half, 2 months before he asked for his release.
Yeah.
And then they let him go. I don't think that version of Karrion Kross sticks too much in the mind, but I think when he did come back, it wasn't quite, Triple H hadn't quite completely took over, and he was still booked very, very poorly. When he did come back.
Weird. I've seen an interview with him, and he loves Triple H and he loves WWE because him and Scarlett sat down. I can't remember who did this interview now, but I remember watching it because I loved Karrion Kross in NXT.
Was it Chris Van Vliet or Vliet?
It might have been, but they basically said we were WWE guys. He was like, we could have had an offer from anywhere for more money. We always seen ourselves as WWE guys. We wanted to be there. We wanted to stay. And that was just the NXT side of things. So I think if he gets the right run under Triple H, because Triple H clearly likes Karrion Kross, because you don't book, even though it was a developmental brand in quotations as NXT was called back then, the black and gold.
Yep.
You don't book someone that dominant if you don't see something special in them.
No, that's right.
So I think that Triple H will slowly put Karrion Kross to the forefront, but it's going to be it's going to be a very slow build to try and undo all the stuff that was done from Vince's booking. Try and get him round, because it is difficult to make someone go from basically a job of what Vince made him into to back to being dominant, unless you've got the Wyatt Sicks backing you up, which is what a lot of them have done.
Yeah.
So I do think it's going to be a very slow build, but I do think we are going to get Karrion Kross eventually back on top. I think the problem with it being on Raw, and this is the reason why I think it'll be a very slow build, I think the time that you could make Karrion Kross look a legit threat would be with the IC belt.
Right.
But as you see in our predictions video, we both think that Bron Breakker's going to win, and Bron Breakker is a heel, so you can't have a heel versus heel. So it needs to be a long enough time for Bron Breakker to lose that belt and then bring Karrion Kross in. And in the predictions video, which you can check out on YouTube now, I said that I want Bron Breakker to hold that belt for at least a year, which means that you're going to get a year's build before Karrion Kross can become the next challenger to the next babyface IC title. And even then, after a year, you probably don't want a babyface to beat Bron Breakker and lose it a week later to Karrion Kross. So it's probably going to be like a year and a half before we get Killer Kross back fully on top, where then he can hold that IC belt and just dominate. If you eventually get Karrion Kross with the IC belt, AOP with the Raw Tag Team belts, dominant faction that are just weighing lace the mid card, then that'll be the dream eventually.
Right, okay.
It's all fantasy though, it might not happen. But anyway, I'm getting off subject. Let's move on.
Yeah, a little bit,
We'll go on to Liv Morgan versus Zelina Vega for a Women's World Title match.
And Morgan wins. Let's move on.
Yes, Liv Morgan retains again in screwy fashion because Dominic Mysterio distracts Zelina Vega, who then...
Yes, he does.
loses, even though a week prior, Zelina Vega was like, "You're caring about the Judgment Day, and I care about that title." But then in the match, she forgot about that title and went for Dominic Mysterio, who's outside the ring. Logic. Answers on a postcard how you could figure that one out.
Yeah.
Then Rey Mysterio come down to try and make the save, but it's a women's title match, so what the hell can Rey do? So Liv picks up the win. Liv carries on her title. The only good thing from this feud with Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan is it shows how good Zelina Vega is on the microphone. It was just the way that, and it's the one quote from last week which we didn't pick up on when she was talking about the belt. She was like, "All you've been doing is going around trying to get that dirty D." Obviously, the innuendo type. It was just stuff like that which Zelina Vega can do, and that's also thanks to Triple H wanting to be a bit more edgy with the content.
Yeah.
That innuendo where, if you were a kid watching, oh, she's talking about Dominic Mysterio. If you're an adult watching, you're like, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
So I like that sort of stuff, but I do want to see Zelina Vega as a champion one day because I think she deserves it. If you watch her promos, if you watch her Twitch channel, which I know Twitch isn't exactly the best way to judge a wrestler, she's very entertaining.
Yeah.
The person she is hilarious and she deserves a run with a belt. But it's also why the women need a mid-card belt. But we're not going to get into that again. Otherwise, it's 20 podcasts of us talking about that.
Yeah, let's keep going.
We then have a promo off between Damian Priest and Seth Rollins, where again they're talking about leaving the brand, but when Damian, or leaving the Judgment Day, or not getting the belt, basically summarising their extra stipulation for their match at the weekend. But Damian Priest is followed to the ring by Finn Balor, and Damian Priest is like, "I didn't want you here, why are you here?" sort of thing, but Seth doesn't really understand. But then as Finn Balor goes to attack Seth, Damian Priest stops him, and then Seth Rollins goes to super kick. I don't know if he's meant to super kick just one of them, but kind of gets both of them with a half kick, and the commentary team don't really know what to do. They're like, "Oh, I think he connected kind of with both of them there." It was because they both sell it like they've been hit.
Right.
But then they both get up because they both realise, shit, they hit both of us. So then Balor does finally get taken out, but then Damian Priest just slams Seth Rollins with a South of Heaven.
Yeah.
To basically stand strong going into the title match come the weekend. It was decent. It's not... I mean, Seth Rollins is good on the microphone, obviously. Damian Priest is doing better on the microphone by himself, but he's still not 100% there with his charisma, I don't think.
No.
He's an incredible talent physically wise, but I still think that to be top bill like he is, you need that charisma as well.
Yeah. I absolutely agree.
So we get that, and then we get... Oh, no, sorry, I was wrong before. We now have the final qualifying match for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Right.
It's Zoe Stark versus Ivy Nile versus Dakota Kai in a triple threat match. And, Damage Control try to interfere to get Dakota Kai the win. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn take out Kairi Sane at ringside. And then Zoe Stark pins Dakota Kai to qualify for the ladder match. This is a week after Dakota Kai took to her her Twitch account, basically pleading with Triple H to book her in a singles match. I just want to do something, but it's good Dakota Kai style, because you can tell that she legit means it, and you can see her starting to get emotional. I just want to do something. I want to be booked as a single star sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then she starts to break down on her stream, but then she still is in character kind of. So she's like, "Oh, it's just my allergies. I don't cry," sort of thing. It's just allergies in here or whatever. But you can see that it's legit getting to her that she wants to be a singles thing, and I think she should, because I think her NXT time, some of her best feuds were obviously she was a tag team, but then turned on her tag team partner, Tegan Knox. She also had Raquel Rodriguez she turned on. Yeah. So there's some of her best one-on-one feuds came from splitting up tag teams. I don't think you split up Damage Control that way, because then it's just, at the minute, it's just Kairi Sane now that Asuka's still out.
Yeah.
So you can't really do that. But Yeah, but I do think that Dakota Kai deserves a decent run as a singles competitor. And I also now, and I've said this in the past to you,
Yeah.
I think that they're keeping her in Damage Control sort of for that English speaker mouthpiece. I think that Damage Control could work if it was just the three Asuka, Io, and Kairi Sane.
Yeah.
I think that would them three have done work together in like Japan. They've done work together in other promotions. They've been friends for years, so they don't need that
No.
other person in there.
No.
And so I don't see what Dakota actually brings to that team anymore. Like if it
Yeah.
turned out that she was like the mastermind behind kicking Bailey out, there's a bit of substance there, but she wasn't.
No, it was...
Io Sky and that were all speaking
Yeah.
Japanese, which Bailey understood.
Yeah.
So it's like Dakota's just there for no reason. So I do think that Dakota deserves a singles push to break away from that faction.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes. We then get the next video package from the Wyatt Sicks, which was the videotape handed over to Michael Cole, and Bo Dallas is being interviewed again by Uncle Howdy. And I don't think it's as good as last week's one. It's still very good, but I don't think it's as good as last week's one. You do get the... he starts talking about, like, what do you think? You attacked Chad Gable, why? And he's like, he turned his back on his family.
Yeah.
You did. We look after family. I made them remember, sort of thing. And he's like, did they come to you to help? And he was like, I found them, sort of thing. Like he went out and found these other people that joined the thing. And then he was like, do you see yourself as a? I can't remember what word he uses now. Like I don't think it was revolution or something like that. And he's like, but Bo Dallas basically went, I'm the voice of it. And then Uncle Howdy went, and I am. I think it was the Reckoning, I think he said. So I was the voice of the Reckoning, and then Uncle Howdy goes, I am the Reckoning. And then at the end, they start merging like the voices together.
Yeah.
So like Bo Dallas will say something, and Uncle Howdy will repeat it. Then Bo Dallas will say something, but Uncle Howdy gets slightly closer.
Yeah.
And then they say it at the exact same time, where they're merged into the same person. He's just repeating the same thing, saying, I am the voice of the voiceless, I am this, I am that. Like getting together, and then it shows Bo Dallas sat there, almost like you can see that his mind's being warped a bit, and he says something, and then he just fades from existence, and at the other side of the screen Uncle Howdy then reappears, and he just ends with the there you are, and then the tape just cuts off again, which apparently which I didn't realise, but I probably should have. Apparently that there you are is something that Bray said in one of his first interviews.
Yeah,
so that's why they keep calling back to that. But like I say, I don't think it was as strong as last week's one, but then I don't think anything's going to be as strong as that last week's one, because the opening segment of how did you feel when your brother died was just shit. They went there straight away. That just took the turn, but you could hear a pin drop in the audience, because obviously if you go on YouTube and do crowd reaction or whatever, you can see when this videotape was played, and you could literally hear a pin drop, so you know that Bo Dallas has got the WWE universe in the palm of his hand at the minute.
People want to, they want to get behind this.
Yeah.
Whether, we'll see whether it's good or not, but people want to like this. This whole
I still
thing.
want to see where it's going, because obviously I've predicted that they interfere with Chad and Money in the Bank at some way.
Right.
Carry on that, because it seems like that's the feud they're going for first, but I would have liked some of these interviews to introduce some of the other characters. I don't think it all should just be Bo talking to Uncle Howdy. I think it should be Uncle Howdy talking to the other members as well at times.
Yeah.
Where you can see why they joined the Wyatt Sicks, or what they've done to do that. It's like Nikki Cross can talk about Nikki Ash.
In time. I think these will be like an onion. There'll be like layers to peel off to reveal new stuff underneath.
I do think that you're going to get like Nikki Ash. If she had an interview, I think that's when you could drop a teaser for Alexa Bliss returning.
Yeah. She
could be like, I used to have a partner or something like that. And then that's obviously a teaser for Alexa Bliss coming back. What's happening in this game that's going on? They're just going in and out of the ring. Oh, there we go. They've stopped. Then you've got like Dexter Loomis could talk about the way, letting him go.
Yeah.
You could talk about Eric Rowan. He's lost Bray and Luke Harper.
Yeah.
So if they're allowed to use his name, which I don't think,
they'll use Brody Lee. They'll call him. Yeah.
So I think that'll be good, and I think that it will come a bit longer.
Yeah,
So then we move
call
on
him by
anyway.
his real name, I think.
Yeah. We then move on to Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio in a WrestleMania 34 rematch.
Who gives a fuck, dude? Rey Mysterio wins. Let's move on. Nothing happened.
Rey Mysterio wins. Again, it was Zelina
Nothing
Vega and Liv
happened.
Morgan trying to interfere in this one as well. And Rey picks up the win.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get like a fucking mixed tag or something at fucking SummerSlam, yeah.
Probably. Or we can get Dominic Mysterio, custody of Dominic Mysterio match between Rhea Ripley.
Oh, imagine that twice in a lifetime. Dominic Mysterio has had people wrestle for custody.
In fact, I seen a photo of it the other day, and I'm gonna send you it while we record this.
Okay.
I'll send you it now. Well, I talk about this next match because then we had.
It
wasn't a match.
It was a promo.
It was a segment.
A segment, yeah.
And
Sami Zayn
between Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker, and Bron Breakker just decides to mutilate Sami Zayn for the longest of times.
Good.
And then until the very end, where he goes for that run around the thing. He runs around the ring and Sami Zayn just leapfrogs him, so Bron Breakker goes into the stairs, which could be a way to like maybe go, oh, the shoulder's a bit sore for the match on Saturday. Because he's just speared a set of steel steps, but no. Hopefully, Bron Breakker just absolutely flattened Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Into oblivion.
Yeah, absolutely destroys him. Yeah.
We then go to the main event, which is the final men's Money in the Bank qualifying match of Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Ilya Dragunov. To which, as we probably all expected, Drew McIntyre picks up the win.
Of course. I would have liked Dragunov to get something here, but I absolutely understand why Drew has to go into this match.
And Drew was sporting the bracelet that he took off CM Punk in this match.
Yeah.
Just
to put it before I forget, have you seen one of Drew McIntyre's merchandise?
No.
He's got like a knockoff of a CM Punk T-shirt, and it's got DM Hunk as in Drew McIntyre Hunk. I just looked at it on the shop while we were talking, just quickly, because someone mentioned it. They were like, "Oh, Drew's actually got some pretty good merch at the moment." So I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I haven't checked the merch store for a long time." So I just quickly went on it, and I saw it DM Hunk. I was like, "That's funny." I was like, "That's really funny." I was like, "I like that a lot." Yeah, good shit. He had to win though.
Yeah, he had to win. He gets into that match. It's going to continue on the CM Punk side.
Yeah.
If you want to see how we each think it's going to affect the CM Punk and carry on that story, check out the predictions video. We're not going to spoil it all on the podcast.
No.
No. We talk about our way that CM Punk's going to get involved with Drew in the build-up to SummerSlam in that predictions match. But that's it. Raw went off the air with Drew McIntyre in control. So that's your SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah.
We have the WWE heads to Toronto, Canada, the weekend for Money in the Bank. A 5-match card. These shorter match cards are brilliant.
That's right.
We're going to get two Money in the Bank ladder matches, an IC title belt, a World Heavyweight title belt, or whatever they call the one on Raw now.
And the World Heavyweight Championship is the one on Raw. The Universal one is the one on SmackDown.
Then we also have the Bloodline versus the Good Guys.
Versus the good brothers.
Yeah.
Although technically that's Luke Gallows.
That's Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
Yeah. But
that should be good.
Yeah. Speaking of other sports and comebacks, England progressed.
It's coming home, lad. It's coming fucking home.
We progressed to the next round of the European finals. We're in the quarterfinals now. Euro 2024. We play Switzerland on the 6th of July at 5 p.m.
There's going to be
British Standard Time.
I tell you what, it's going to be a tough week in the charts for a few weeks when Three Lions, Sweet Caroline, and
Hey Jude,
Hey Jude, all battle out for number one. When it comes home, no, it's not coming home, is it? They were shit. They got so lucky. I mean, great goal from Bellingham, the overhead.
I mean, that could be goal of the tournament. Could be. I know there are some fantastic long range goals out there, but this was an overhead kick in like the 93rd minute or something. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I know if you don't give a toss about football, then the podcast is finished for you. I think you're welcome to move on to the next one, or rewatch an old one perhaps. But it's an interesting setup for the quarterfinals. You've got Spain and Germany, two of the notably strongest teams in the tournament.
I think now that the tournament's started, both of them have moved up to being favourites to win, which means obviously they can't. But before the tournament started, England was the favourites to win.
Well, I don't believe that for a second.
No, that was genuinely the bookies had England as 19.9% chance of winning. They had France at 19.3% chance of winning. Then it was Germany at 18 point something and Spain at 18 exact, I think.
Well, we got two games tomorrow. Spain, Germany. So the two favourites, as the tournament has evolved, they will one of them will be going home.
I think Spain might upset the host nation tomorrow.
If you look on paper, who would I rather play? I would rather play Germany.
Yeah, I'd rather play.
They're a good side, but at the moment their goals are coming from their midfield. Füllkrug, Musiala, Havertz he's not performing as well as I think people thought he might.
Arsenal legend.
I'm not taking anything away from Havertz. He's a good player. And I would consider him for Liverpool if the opportunity was there. But I think in the tournament wise, all of the more consistent German players have been their midfielders. Then at 8 o'clock you got Portugal France. I think Portugal stole a victory off of was it Slovenia they played? Yeah, they stole a victory, but it went to penalty shootout,
and their keeper just turned into
Diogo
the best
Costa.
in the world.
He summoned the spirits of all of the greatest goalkeepers through time, and they imbued him with absolute power. He saved 3 spot kicks in a row, which apparently has never been done.
Never been done before. Yeah, never been done.
Then on Saturday at 5, England play Switzerland. On paper, we should win that, but we've seen how poorly England play.
Switzerland looked very good.
Switzerland so strong. Switzerland doing extremely well. I hope, obviously, that they have a bad day. I hope that Southgate just tears up his team sheet that he's been using, doesn't start Kane,
Kane's starting.
No. But they can't. He cannot. This is the thing, right? The pundits have been absolutely slaughtering the England setup, right? But the fact is that Southgate,
in fact,
cannot.
Can't be the exact same team.
No,
we've got a suspension and an injury.
Right. Okay. So he can't start the same. The majority of the same 11 and say it worked last time, because it fucking didn't. We were going out. England fans were leaving the stadium after 91 minutes. They were leaving the stadium 2 minutes before Bellingham scored.
There was an interview with a guy, and he was like, "How do you feel about your chances in this quarter final?" And he was like, "We're not in the quarter final." He's like, "Yeah, you are. You won 2-1." And he'd left, so he didn't see the Bellingham goal. He was like, we were done. It was 1-0.
Yeah.
So he thought the interview was taking the piss. He was like,
yeah,
we're not in it.
Yeah, they were like, no, you scored 2 goals. Yeah, it went to extra time and everything. Yeah, I know, crazy.
For me, so the 2 players missing: a Gahey, however you say his name, the centre back,
Mark Gahey,
Gahey, and Trippier. Trippier got an injury.
Good. Well, I'm sorry, I don't mean anything against Trippier, but good.
So Luke Shaw has resumed full training, but I don't know if you want to start him right from the off.
No, you put Bukayo Saka back there, of course.
I know. That's what he did. He put Bukayo Saka, went back to his debut in an Arsenal game and went back into left back. He played all right, to be fair, because he did play there once. It was a very small time. under Arsene Wenger, because Wenger thought, you know what, he's a left back.
Something. Okay, I just want to quickly say this as well. Something that when you know a footballer is a good footballer is when they can play competently at any position. Maybe not goalkeeper, but they can play competently at any position. Okay.
Yeah.
That means they're a good footballer. But they
Yeah.
obviously will have specialty. So obviously Saka is a winger by specialty, but he's competent at playing left back because he's a good footballer.
Yeah.
He can understand the game. He can read the game. But if Luke Shaw's not ready, who the fuck do we put in there? And it can't be Saka.
So for me, what I would suggest, which probably not the best way to do it, is I would put Alexander-Arnold back to right back.
Right.
I would stick Kyle Walker in the centre back position for Mark Gahey, because then you've got pace, but he can also go across and cover that left hand side.
Yep.
And then on the left side, I don't even know who we've got on the team. I genuinely don't know who we've got as an actual left back that can play there. That's the worry. But then obviously, if we take aside the left back that is a question mark, we'll say in that position, that means you could put Rice centre back, Bellingham midfield, Foden number 10. I'd rather Watkins, but I think it'll be Harry Kane starting up top, Saka on the right, and Gordon on the left.
Well, rumours are that England are going to have a back three.
Just Walker, Stones, and who else have we got? I don't know who else we've got.
Probably Alexander-Arnold. They're going to let him play in his actual
back,
position. No, Stones will be the centre back.
You're going to have one centre back, a left back, and a right back.
Yeah, we're going to play three at the back.
Yeah, but three at the back's usually three centre backs, then have wing backs or something like that.
Well, no, because you'll have the wingers will be told to drop back. If there's an attack, the wingers will drop back, won't they? You'll have Foden on one side and fucking Matey on the other, Saka on the other. They'll just be told to drop back. But you'll have Alexander-Arnold at left back. Right back. Cause that's where he plays for Liverpool. You'll have John Stones in the middle and Kyle Walker out on the left. Because, well, you could add. Well, it would either be Walker or Alexander-Arnold will be at the back. Yeah, because Mark Gahey got too many cards. So he's
been watching your team play. He's been watching A.
Well, you know, I mean, Eze could play at the back as well.
Eze's not a full back. He's an attacking midfielder. I don't even know who else is being selected in the team.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter really. I want Ivan Toney.
Oh, Lewis Dunk will return.
I want Ivan Toney up front with Kane. Play two up front. For fuck's sake, we have done this where we've tried to play just one up front. No, stop this. We're England. We have to have two forwards. Play Kane and Toney up front.
Bring back Mike Bassett in charge.
Anyway,
the squad. Here we go. Here's the squad. Let's see who else we play. I don't know who Konza is. I know he plays for Aston Villa, but can he play left back?
I don't know.
Probably not. Well, you got Joe Gomez is in there. Joe Gomez.
No. I'm a Liverpool fan. No. Joe Gomez is such a liability. I'm sorry. I was sat watching Liverpool games with my mum, like towards the end of the season, and I was constantly saying, "What the fuck is Joe Gomez doing in the defence? He's not good enough. I'm sorry, he's not."
Then we have to start Luke Shaw. I think he's the only natural left back we've got, left-sided player.
Providing if he can do 75 minutes, fine. Or 70 minutes. If he can do 70 minutes, we can substitute the last 20. Providing we're winning, then it's fine. But we have gotten way off track here. We're talking about the Euros now instead of the thing. But it's our podcast. We talk about what the fuck we like. But yeah, I think England will go through. I think we'll have that extra, point to prove against Switzerland. But they've been good. But I don't think they're quite there. Although, Granit Xhaka will absolutely love to knock us out of the tournament.
Yeah.
And then you've got Netherlands and Turkey, who have been an absolute underdog the whole way
Tell you
through.
what, though, if England get past Switzerland, I'd fancy their chances against either of them two teams, Turkey or Netherlands.
Netherlands have been weak. They've got a very strong team on paper, but they're very weak when they're actually playing.
Strong on paper, shit on grass.
Yeah, yeah. And
think
Turkey are just one of those teams that will run out of steam.
They're the surprise package at the minute.
Yeah, they will run out of steam at some point, and it will either be against the Netherlands or against us.
England, people said it last time, but you've got to look at the two last tournaments, and England have got so lucky with the draws. Like when we reached the final last time, we didn't really have that much of a tough path.
Yeah.
Then you look at it this time, and you look at the 4 teams who could be in the semi-final of Spain, Germany, Portugal, France.
Yeah.
And then you look at the 4 teams in the other one, Netherlands, Turkey, England, or Switzerland.
Yeah.
You've got to think how bloody lucky are England to get away from that path.
Well, my argument when people say like, oh, we've got a chance, I'm like, hold on, we had a very similar run through the 2018 World Cup when it was in Russia. We got to Croatia in the semi-final or quarter-final of the World Cup. I think it was quarter-final. We faced Croatia, a very average Croatian side, and we lost. So, I'm not, and we had an easy run. Like we had. I can't even remember what the run in, but all I remember was the route to the final for us was so easy. On paper, it was a walk to the final for England, and we still fucked it. We fucked it by playing poorly against Croatia. So, but
yeah.
Anyway, that's enough about the Euros, I think. Don't you?
Yeah, I think that's
I think we've covered it, and that's all the wrestling. So, yeah, Money in the Bank this weekend. At time of recording.
One thing we should say.
2 days. Yeah.
One thing we should say. No one's probably got to this stage in the video, but if they do get to this stage of the podcast of the video, because I'm just saying that most people come for the wrestlers, they've probably switched off.
Yeah.
But we didn't say at the start. We haven't said at all. Happy Independence Day to all of our American fans.
Oh yeah.
July 4th today. So they're biggin'. It's the warm-up party for tomorrow's real party, which is my Independence Day. All right, mate, switch my camera off, why don't you?
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
You brought up your chat. What are you doing?
I was looking at a joke.
It's a good job you didn't have anything filthy on that chat.
No. I forgot I forgot when I click off your fucking camera disappears. That's my bad. But no.
Yeah, it's the warm-up for tomorrow, because it's my Independence Day tomorrow. It's Tynwald Day, which is where my little island broke away.
From what? You're still part of the
Yeah,
UK.
but it's when we got our own government. We decided, down with your shite one that's making everyone go to war at 18, and we decided to go independent.
Right, okay, fair enough. That's fair enough.
But yeah, no, happy 4th of July to all the Americans out there. If you did get this far.
Yeah.
Let us know what you're having on your hot dog. That's what they have, hot dogs and fireworks. That is Independence
I was going to
Day.
say, I was just about to say, it's gunpowder and fireworks. That's what they have on their hot dogs. Like, it's, a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mustard.
On there.
Yeah, a bit of gunpowder. Spices,
just
the
extra seasoning.
Yeah. Oh, John Cena's just taken 2 fucking curb stomps.
Yeah, he'll kick out at Cena.
Well, I don't know. Let's see.
Seth Rollins fighting an invisible man.
No, see, 3. That's it.
There you go. And look at that. We've got the podcast right to when that match finishes. I think.
Yeah.
No, we haven't.
No, this doesn't count anyway. Well, he's number 28, so there's still 2 more people to come. But we are done. We are done there. That is the end of podcast episode 21. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I won't apologise for talking about the Euros. I enjoy it. I'm a football fan.
Football.
Well, it's better than the flat ball that the Americans and the Canadians play. Right. So with that, I will be saying goodbye, I guess, until next week when we do this all again and we talk about how amazing or shit Money in the Bank was.
Yeah, we'll talk about how England are out of the Euros, and we'll talk
Yeah.
about how I am still your reigning, defending, undisputed predictions champion, and I will welcome you all into my domain as I carry on my prestiged run with that chair. Don't clip this and show me it in a week's time, because I'll be crying in the corner.
I'm going to make sure I do that. Make sure you polish the chair for me. Right. All right. So thank you, everybody, for chilling out with us. It was good fun. We will see you next week with episode 22. Like I said, all the thoughts about Money in the Bank, everything on SmackDown and Raw since then, and probably whether or not it's coming home or we've gone home. One of the two. All right, everybody. Thanks very much. It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.